Pleasure to welcome you to the news on the hour. And now to the headlines. Archbishop Michael Fape of Lagos Ecclesiastical Province speaks of God's abundance and grace in the midst of harsh economy imposed by COVID-19. President Buhari appoints Reverend Yakubu Pam as Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission (NCPC). Research says that less than 30% of American churches actively address racism. We'll begin with a word of encouragement and assurance from the Bishop of Remo and Archbishop Ecclesiastical Province of Lagos, the Most Reverend Dr. Olusola Fape, who in his weekly devotion has assured Christians that the pandemic that is seriously ravaging the whole world will never terminate the lives of true Christians, as Christ has promised his children a path of life that is victorious, full of abundance and grace.
At this particular period of COVID-19, it is our Heavenly Father, God, the creator of the whole universe, who has been showing us the path of life. And of course, Jesus Christ says, I am the life. He is not only the way, he is not only the truth, but is the life. And because it's the life, COVID-19, coronavirus, cannot decimate our lives, cannot terminate our lives. Because in the presence of God, there is fullness of joy. It is this joy that we have that has encouraged us to continue to worship God. He has promised us that he will show us the path of life. Life that is victorious. Life that is full of abundance. Life that is full of grace.
Meanwhile, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has approved the appointment of Reverend Yakubu Pam as Executive Secretary of Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission (NCPC). His appointment, which took effect from 26th of June 2020 for a period of 5 years, was made known by the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, Garuba Shehu. Until his appointment, Reverend Pam was the chairman of the Plateau State Christian Pilgrims Board. Born on 20th February 1960 in Plateau State, Reverend Pam holds a first degree in Christian education. As an ordained minister, Reverend Pam brings to the position more than 30 years of leadership experience in the Christian community, coupled with a deep understanding of promoting interreligious harmony and conflict resolution in the northern parts of the country. The cleric has held many leadership positions in the church, including chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria (Acnn) of Northern Nigeria, which includes the 19 northern states and Abuja from 2016 to date. Vice President, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria 2013 to date, and District Superintendent, Jos Mainland Assemblies of Nigeria 2010 to date. He also served as Chairman Plateau State Interreligious Council and Chairman Internally Displaced Persons IDP Committee Plateau State. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari urged the Executive Secretary NCPC to sustain his reconciliatory predisposition in his new position. The Senate's Ajayi University ACU has given consent for one of the lives-changing Christian drama ministry, Mount Zion Christian Drama Institute, to be affiliated with the higher institution. The approval was given in the 94th Senate meeting of Ajayi University, Oyo State, after a visit by a panel from the university to inspect facilities in the institute. The panel certified that the institute has the requisite staff and facilities to run the program of the university. Mount Zion Drama Institute has consistently trained thousands of people in Christian drama arts for 28 years and overseen by foremost Christian drama evangelist, a scriptwriter and director, evangelist Mike Bamiloe. The Vice-Chancellor, Right Reverend Professor Dabo Asaju, who chaired the university's Senate first meeting at the permanent site on Oyo Ogbomosho Road, said the institute was one of the foremost Christian drama institutions in the country, and given that Ajay University is founded by the church, it was fit and proper that the affiliation was approved. The proprietor of the institute, Mike Bamiloye, and his team had earlier visited the university to express their desire for the affiliation, and with the approval given the Senate, the institute would offer certificates, diploma and degree programs of the Department of Performing Arts and Music. The evangelist Franklin Graham, son of the late American's prominent evangelist Billy Graham, has lauded the election of former pastor and Assemblies of God President Lazarus Chakwera as the new president of the sub-Saharan African nation of Malawi. Graham congratulated the new president through his Facebook handle, saying that he did a great job chairing a Billy Graham Evangelistic Association outreach in 2010 called My Hope Malawi. The 65-year-old Malawian entered politics in 2013 without any previous experience and was the leader of the Malawi Congress Party, and his career in public service follows 24 years of leading the Assemblies of God denomination, one of the largest religious groups in that nation in the landlocked country in southeastern Africa. Chakwera, who previously ran for president in 2014 and came in second, won the presidential race, defeating incumbent President Peter Mutharika with 58.57 points of the votes. Meanwhile, report says that less than 30% of American churches are actively engaged in addressing racism or racial inequality, even though most pastors agree that churches should oppose the social ills. This report is according to a recent research from a research and resource company, Barana, located in California. They reported that despite the ongoing social unrest over racial inequality and social brutality sparked by the killing of George Floyd while in the custody of Minneapolis police officers in May, only 29% of Protestant pastors from Barna's pastor panel said their churches were either completely or most actively involved in addressing racial or racism inequality. Another 30% of the 2,350 Protestant senior pastors on the panel polled in online surveys from March 20th to June 15th said they were somewhat involved in addressing the issues at their church. Nearly all pastors, 94%, agree the church has a responsibility to publicly denounce racial discrimination, and 89% says it's important for church leaders to publicly show effort and support for people of color. And while 62% of pastors said their church made a statement on the recent protests happening across the nation, having conversations about issues of racism in church has been difficult because of the different perspective people hold. The majority of white practicing Christians, 61%, believe issues of racism are the result of an individual's own belief and prejudices against people of other races, while 2/3 of black practicing Christians, 66%, argue that racial discrimination is historically built into American society and institutions. The situation has made it challenging for many white pastors to discuss the issue from their pulpits. This is still the news on the hour. Remember, you can connect with us on YouTube and on Facebook. And still to come, Nigerian midfielder Mikel Obi in talks with a club for possible return to English football. These and other stories coming your way after this break. Kindly stay tuned.
People of God, if there is any time the world is confused about whom actually is a Christian, it is now. The noise everywhere is confusing the crowd. People have heard wonderful, eloquent, professionally, intellectually delivered sermons. But there is one question on the lips of everybody in the street. Where can I find practicing Christians?
As countries begin to push for a return to normalcy following the outbreak of COVID-19, technology giants Google and iPhone have partnered to create a platform to assist public health agencies. The two companies are partnering to create technology that will allow apps built by public health agencies to work more accurately on Android phones and iPhones. This technology will assist in contact tracing. Public health agencies use contact tracing to track who has potentially been exposed to an illness such as COVID-19 as part of their efforts to contain the spread of diseases. The technology they build is not an app, but rather something public health agencies can use in building their own application that people can then install on their phones. Each Android phone or iPhone user gets to decide whether or not to use the exposure notifications. The system does not collect or use location from the device. And if a person is diagnosed with COVID-19, it is up to them whether or not to report that in the public health app. For iPhone users, go to Settings, then click on Privacy, click on Health, and you will see the COVID-19 exposure login. Similarly, for Android phone users, go to Settings, then scroll to Google, click, and you will see COVID-19 exposure notifications. To activate this function, therefore, an app specifically designed for contact tracing will be required by local health authorities. In other words, this creates a viable opportunity for app developers and relevant health authorities in Nigeria to develop and domesticate a homegrown technological solution in this regard.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at ACNNTV.com or our social media platforms on Facebook.com or YouTube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the VM Africa app from Android and iOS stores. Also, you can advertise your products and services on ACNNTV. 5 police officers in India have been arrested in connection with the killing of a father and a son who were allegedly brutalized after their arrest last month for keeping their store open past permitted hours during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. According to reports, Mr. J. Raja and his son Phoenix were arrested on June 19th in Tamil Nadu state in southern India and kept overnight in police custody. The father, believed to be in his 50s, and son, believed to be in his 30s, died 2 days after being released. Their death has fueled protests and demonstrations against police brutality in India, which have occurred since the death of African-American George Floyd in Minneapolis on Memorial Day. The Madras High Court, which is the highest court in the state, launched an investigation and ruled there was enough evidence to charge the officers with murder, which includes serious injuries listed in the 2 Met autopsy results. The death of the father and son drew scrutiny from Christian organizations as people nationwide have protested against India's problems with police brutality in recent weeks. In Ondo State, the secretary to the Ondo State government, Ifedayo Abegunde, has resigned his appointment. Abegunde, while confirming his resignation, did not give any reason for his decision, but said he will make his next line of action known soon. He also informed the state governor Rotimi Akeredolu about his decision in a letter dated July 6, 2020, and appreciated Governor Akeredolu for the opportunity given to him to serve the people of the state. His resignation comes 2 weeks after the Deputy Governor Ajayi resigned his membership from the All Progressive Congress APC. Ajayi, who has joined the People's Democratic Party PDP, however, ignored calls that he should resign as the Deputy Governor of the state. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC had fixed October 10th to conduct the governorship election in the state. Shehu Sani, a former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District at the Senate, has questioned the efficacy of the COVID-19 organics as Madagascar has imposed a fresh lockdown due to the rise in cases of COVID-19. You would recall that Madagascar imposed a fresh lockdown on its capital following a new surge in COVID-19 cases. This is coming 2 months after restrictions were eased in Madagascar. Shehu Sani in his tweet said that the reimposition of lockdown by the Madagascan government in the capital city as a result of surge in infection raises questions on the efficacy of their remedy. Madagascar had sent the herbal drink to Nigeria and other African countries to help combat the virus, and President Muhammadu Buhari received the concoction, which had since been placed on the test. Just last week, the Nigerian government said the herbal remedy will be subjected to further research, despite being proven to be a cure only for malaria. On sports news, West Ham United is in talks to sign former Super Eagles captain Mikel Obi. And according to media outfit Tribal Football, the Nigerian midfielder became a free agent in March after terminating his contract with Turkish side Trabzonspor after refusing to play following the COVID-19 outbreak. The 33-year-old, who has previously played for Chelsea and Middlesbrough in England, has also been linked with Championship side West Brom, but it is understood the Hammers are already in talks with him. However, it seems he is set to make a return to English football. Meanwhile, the scribe of the National Association of Nigeria Professional Footballers, Austin Popo, has said that the Players' Union in Nigeria wants to pursue an agenda that will see FIFA intervene in the way clubs treat players with regards to their earnings and due emolument, with the growing cases of players being owned in the Nigerian League. Popo, speaking in a chat with newsmen, said the current situation favors foreign players in the league, where FIFA comes readily to their aid in terms of jurisdictions, as against local Nigerian players who are at the mercy of having the Football Federation denounce enforcement on clubs, which has failed to yield the desired result. Hence the need to have the scope of such control beyond just the federation, so that everyone is taken care of once it gets to FIFA's notice. But that's where we draw the curtain for this edition of the News on the Hour. I want to thank you for watching. I am Nzubichi Frank. Bye-bye.